The Imaginative Hobbyist presents Daredevil, the Man Without Fear, written by Max Slocum, based on the Marvel comic book by Frank Miller and John Romita, Jr. Part 1. Young Matthew Murdock runs through the streets of New York City, covered in bruises and tears coming down his eyes. He has no place in mind to go to. He just wants to escape from it all. He will run till he can't anymore. He stops at a boat dock and sits down at the end of a ramp. He looks at the city as the sun begins to set. He has never taken the time to appreciate what a marvel of architecture the city is. The bright yellow sun sparkles onto the various buildings, creating a beautiful sight. If only the city were as heavenly as it appears, Matthew thinks. Matthew lives in Hell's Kitchen with his father, Jack. Jack is a fighter. In the ring, he goes by Jack the Devil Murdock. His talent as a boxer should qualify him to play in the big leagues and headline pay-per-view events on television. But unfortunately, skill alone is sometimes not enough to guarantee success. Matthew's father is involved with some bad people. But Mr. Murdock is a good man. Flawed? Yes. But he has a good heart and loves his son. Matthew knows he wants to get out of the sticky situation that he is in with those monsters who are having him act as an enforcer. He is hoping to find a way out and get him and his son to be in the company of better people and live better lives, but for the time being that is just a fantasy. Often does Mr. Murdock tell his son not to be anything like him as he grows up. He says to him that he cannot let the bullies in the neighborhood get to him and believe that violence is the only answer. That he has to be better than that he has to keep studying, and that he has to aspire to be something special, the sort of person that his father should have been, and what his mother would want to see her son grow up to be. Matthew made this promise to his father, but today he broke it. The Barkley boy thought it was a good day to tease the young Murdock, and when he wouldn't put down his books, he pushed him down to the ground and punched him in the face. Matthew let the devil out and hit him right back. It was a punch so hard, Barkley and his friends decided to step back and leave him alone. Matthew felt excitement, the likes of which he hadn't in so long. He ran home to tell his father about his triumph, but what he got in return was a hit in the face by his old man. Matthew saw all of the anger and rage that had been bubbling up inside of his father for a long time finally burst, and unfortunately the one who felt that fury was his son. Matthew started crying and stormed out of their apartment. His father tried to apologize, but Matthew ran away so far he didn't stop to rest his heart and relax his soul. Matthew knows he was wrong to break his promise, and knows that his father is sorry and still loves him. As soon as the moon becomes visible, he heads back home where he finds his father sitting at the kitchen table, an emotional wreck. They both apologize and give each other a hug. Matthew goes to brush his teeth and goes to bed. Like a lot of other nights, it takes a while to fall asleep. When it passes an hour after he turned off the lights, he goes to his window and opens it up. Darkness fills the city, but it is still restless. The various noises and smells tell stories and suggest nothing good. He sees and hears sinners making more sinful choices and people suffering. The world is a dark place, and sadly there are not enough lights to scare the demons away. The light from an outdoor lamp illuminates his history book, and he goes to open it up. He flips through and stumbles upon a picture of Captain America and his other super-powered allies in World War II. He wishes that these forces for justice were still around to serve and protect and remind people that there is still good in the world. But the age of the superhero was over, and Matthew is only human. He would need to fight for justice in another way. Tomorrow will be a new day. He will obey the rules and focus on his studies, and he will not let the demons get to him and let the devil out again. Every night and every weekend, Matthew fights the urge to leave his room. The kids from school see him studying and mock him, calling him a coward, calling his father a bum. They say his mother was right to abandon him because she wouldn't want a chicken for a son. Soon, they begin to mockingly call him Daredevil. Recess becomes purgatory for Matthew. Bullies pick on him and beat him up, but he chooses to take it and not raise his fist. It gets so embarrassing that even the pretty girls he thought were as kind as angels, and the puny nerds join in the name-calling. Daredevil! Daredevil! Look how brave he is! It becomes a chant that angers him so much he wants to shout so loud till his lungs burst. But he does nothing. Every day after school he walks away wondering if he made the mistake to make that promise to himself. But when he goes to the gym his father trains at, his pride grows. He unleashes his fury onto the boxing bag. Every punch and every kick is satisfying, and he heads home feeling better. Today he leaves the gym feeling so good he smiles. It is picture perfect outside, not a cloud in the sky, and everyone seems to be in a good mood. Matthew waits with others for the electronic street sign to allow them to cross the street. An old blind man hears wrong and makes his journey across as cars still pass. Matthew sees a careening truck carrying barrels of radioactive waste coming up, and without a hesitation he rushes to push the man out of the way. Barrels of horrid, spewing muck drop from the truck and splash all over the road. Matthew is struck in the face, and then everything goes dark. His eyes burn like fire. The voices coming from all around hammer into the drums of his ears. The pain is so great he screams, and he doesn't stop. He feels change coming inside of his bloodstream. He feels his DNA being rewritten. His body doesn't know how to combat this new substance that made its way in. He wonders if this is the end, and if it is, why did his life have to be so short? Why, God? Why? An ambulance comes and takes him to the hospital. The doctors do everything that they can to help, and when they have determined there is nothing left to do, they let him rest in his bed. His life has been saved, but he wonders what he is now. Some woman seems to know. He hears her come in. She says that she is a nun, and her name is Sister Maggie. She comforts him, tells him that his newfound senses are a gift, and that he should keep it a secret, even from his father. Bad people would take advantage of his gifts. She kisses him on the forehead and leaves. Somehow, he recognizes those soft, loving lips, and he manages to sense tears coming down from her eyes. Should he know her? How does she know him? So many questions, but they will have to be answered at a later time. Weeks later, a blinded Matthew is back home. He hears so much more than he could before, from cats fighting in the alleyway over a dead mouse to lovers going on a date at a pizza parlor. But he focuses on the conversation his father is having with the men from the Rand Oil and Chemicals Company, who created the very thing that blinded his boy. Dad is given a threat that if he goes to the press or files a complaint, they will expose his connection to Roscoe Sweeney, otherwise known as the Fixer. His son has already lost his eyesight. He cannot lose his father, so Dad says nothing. More weeks go by. Matthew is pitied by all who walk by. Although it is nice to hear the good in people, he is angry that he cannot see it. He goes to the gym and tries to train. Hours go on, and Matthew fails to do half of what he used to, meeting one failure after another. As he begins to cry, a man approaches him. He is blind, just like him, but he comes with no sympathy in his words, only commands. He tells him to quit feeling sorry for himself and to get back on his feet. His name is Stick. Stick takes Matthew to a dirty, dusty basement to train to be a fighter like him. Stick has never seen the sun or the moon. He was born blind, but he is a man capable of impressive feats. karate, kung fu, archery. He can even leap from rooftop to rooftop without a sign of fear in his voice or the rhythm of his heartbeat. He becomes a great teacher to the blind youth. It is the fourth round between battling Jack Murdoch and Carl Creel at Madison Square Garden. Matthew is in attendance hearing the fight. When the round ends and both fighters go to rest up for a minute, Matthew focuses his hearing on the conversation between his father and his corner team. They tell him it is time to take the dive and to let Creel get the win, or else the fixer will be very upset. They tell him to think of his boy, and his father responds that he is thinking about his son, thinking about what he told him about not giving up. He wants his son to know that despite his old man being a loser, he is not a quitter. The fifth and final round starts, and Jack Murdoch holds nothing back. He knocks Creel out and wins. It is a huge moment for the Murdochs, and Matthew cheers his old man on. He is happy for his father and looks forward to telling him how proud he is of him, but it is not to be. Part 2. Matthew plays dumb to the police. He lies that he doesn't know who could have caused his father's murder or the reason for it, because he has his sights on his revenge against Sweeney and his thugs. Using his amplified senses and training from Stick, he tracks down his father's killers. He finds McHale and Gilligan and leads them into a dark alley where he leaves them bruised and bleeding out on the ground. He tips the police and they find them and make an arrest. He heads to the gym where Slade and Marcello are at. Slade broke his father's jaw and ribs, and Marcello gleefully carved up Murdoch's face. Matthew shuts off the lights and hits Marcello in the face with a bat so hard he will need surgery to make him look presentable in public. When Slade finds him on the floor, a light turns on in the boxing ring, and there Matthew stands with his bat, his face covered in a red mask. Slade thinks this will be an easy victory, but Matthew embarrasses him and knocks him out with a roll of pennies in his fist. Matthew kicks the man once he falls to the mat. The door opens, and entering the gym is the fixer himself. A horrified Sweeney runs for it. As soon as he exits the building, he orders his chauffeur Angelo to start up the limo and take off. Matthew takes to the rooftop and follows the vehicle. Sensing the best opportunity present itself, he jumps down onto the hood and breaks into the window in the front with his bat. The limousine crashes into the top of a stairway to a subway tunnel. Sweeney gets out and heads down. Angelo takes the opportunity to run far away from the scene. Young Murdoch gets back to his feet and runs after the fixer, finding him at a dead end. He hears Sweeney's heartbeat pounding, fluttering, and then stopping. The fixer is no more, and Matthew didn't even have to lift a finger. One now remains. He finds Angelo at a place full of thick perfumes and practicing passion. He thinks he is safe there with all those beautiful women who say they love him because he pays well and has pockets full of substances that will make the night more exciteful. Matthew breaks in and goes for the attack. The women think it is a raid and go to stop his assault on Angelo. By accident, he pushes one woman out of the window. He hears her prayer to God to save her, and then the crunch of her bones on the pavement below with her blood oozing out. He killed her. He is a killer. He runs away helpless in horror. Instead of going to the orphanage, he goes to the basement where Stick has trained him, but the old man is not there. Matthew cries out for him, but there is no answer. He has failed his sensei. Part 3. Time passes, and Jack Murdoch's little boy is now a student at Columbia University. He is studying to become a lawyer along with his best friend and roommate, Franklin Percy Foggy Nelson. Both are excellent students, but for people like them, the playground in which they faced prejudice, mockery, and physical harm didn't cease to be after the 5th grade. Instead, it evolved. A young man named Brad makes Foggy's life a living hell. One day, he and a pal jokingly chase after Foggy in Brad's car, making their classmate drop all of his books and fall onto the hard ground. Brad gets out and finishes the job, leaving Foggy's left eye black and bruised. The next day in class, Brad makes a threat, telling Nelson they are not done. Foggy goes to his friend and says that he doesn't know what to do, but Matt does. Brad cannot clearly remember what has happened. He saw a figure in the dark pick him up from his bed as if he was a doll, carry him across campus rooftops, dangling him by the ankle above cruel pavement, and leaving him tied up, mouth tied around in cloth on the snow. And that voice, and that warning. They said to leave Nelson alone, and from that day forward he does just that. Brad only ever says hi to Foggy and treats him with respect. With the degree of mystery Matt accompanies his intellect, charming personality, and good looks, there is fascination from several of the girls at the university. Matt turns down some of the date offers he receives, his dedication to his studies being the reason, but there is another reason why his nights are busy. Campus goes dark, Foggy goes out like a light. Matt leaves by the window and wanders through the city in the night and tests his abilities. He leaps from rooftop to rooftop, pushing through the cool wind and overbearing snow. He overhears the news coming from the television sets in the buildings he climbs, runs, and jumps over, talking about the heroic actions of the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. How the world had changed in so little time. Gods were walking the earth again, metal men, green behemoths, men who can turn giant and shrink to the size of an insect, witches, sorcerers, legends of mythology, and even the titans of yesterday, such as Captain America and Namor, have made their return. It is a new age of heroes, and Murdoch wants to be a part of it. He hears a feminine laugh from afar and smells the sort of perfume only a millionaire would spray on. He is not the only one out this winter night on these rooftops, and as he quickly learns that while he sees this city as a training field, she sees it as a playground. Who is this woman? Is she even real? Matt wonders if the cold is finally messing with his mind, but the closer he gets to her, the more he realizes she is no mental aberration. She is real. She acts like a siren, perhaps, Matt wonders. She may well be one, because in this world nothing can be doubted. His senses create a better picture of her as he gets closer. She is human, all right, and her heartbeat is that of someone as young as him. She wants to play cat and mouse, but here the mouse is after the cat. She leads him to the park. She calls for help, and he runs after her to save her from danger. She leaves an article of clothes for him to follow, and when he gets to the end, the police arrive and detain him. One officer handcuffs him, the other looks for the girl, but he finds nothing, not even a single item of clothing. She hasn't left the park. He hears her quietly giggling from a distance, and knows she wants to test him to see how much of a bad boy he is. But Matt remembers that night when he tracked down Angelo and accidentally killed an innocent woman. He cooperates with the police, who let him go when they find out he is handicapped, and come to the conclusion he couldn't possibly have done anything wrong without some physical support like a stick or a dog. He wonders if he will cross paths with that girl again. The next day he receives an answer. Class ends, and Matt and Foggy head to the bus stop on campus. A gust of wind smacks them like a bat to a baseball as a car drives up with a beautiful young woman at the wheel. She says no word, but Matt knows she is the girl from last night. She raises an index finger and invites him for a ride. Matt's radar sense picks it up, and he hops in. They take off at lightning speed. She doesn't care about breaking any laws. She is a lady who wants danger to be her middle name. And perhaps it is. Her first name, she reveals, is Electra. Electra is a wild woman, nothing like the other girls he knows. There is nothing to hide from her. She wants the real him. She wants a daredevil. She tests him to see if he is her equal, like jumping into a river of ice, skiing in endless circles in the air, or in mixed martial arts and acrobatics. Every time he passes, she falls for him more. Matt wonders if their love is meant to last, if being with her is destiny calling. The world has changed so much in the last few years, and it will keep changing. They are not ordinary people with aspirations to live a simple and quiet life. There will be wars between good and evil, and what role they decide to play will affect the outcome. Matt is a good man who wants to do right, but there is a darkness that lives in Elektra that worries him. He awakes from a deep sleep to hear a voice from his past. It is his sensei, Stick. Stick warns him about Elektra. He says she is a poison, and that she will drag him down, and that the side she is on is the worst side of all. He tries to tell the old man to go away, but he jabs the young man in the thread with his stick, and the world goes white and silent. When he awakes, he wonders if it was just a dream, but deep down he knows it was real. There is a darkness in Elektra. He doesn't realize how much it is in her soul till he learns about her family and discovers that their line of work is dangerous, and the company they keep are the sort of people who would burn if they set foot on holy grounds. He sees goodness in her and wants to help her rid the dark in her soul, but he learns the challenge may be too great. As they cozy up by the fireplace, she confesses to having taken several lives and enjoyed it. He thinks she is lying, but on the day of her father's funeral, she tells him that she took her own father's life, but it wasn't her choice. She couldn't control the evil and manipulative voices in her head that transformed her into a monster. She leaves in a jet to parts unknown, to exorcise the evil out of her heart, and refuses to bring him with. Out of fear, she will hurt him. They kiss, and off she goes. In the cold, Matt realizes that he has once again been punished for letting out his wild side and breaking the rules. He will not let it happen again. Part 4. Years have passed after graduating summa cum laude from Harvard Law School. Matt Murdock works at the firm of Sussman and Castro in Boston. He is on his way to becoming the youngest junior partner they have ever had. He has a job to do in New York. His flight arrives in the evening, and the second he sets foot off of the plane, he instantly recognizes the sounds and the smells. It is like he never left it. He visits his old neighborhood in Hell's Kitchen. It hasn't changed a bit. The painful memories all come back to him. He remembers the bullies and hears their insults. Daredevil echoes in his ears. He tries to think of something else, but it doesn't go away. It stays. A pack of thugs call him out, tell him they are going to rob him of everything and leave him with nothing. He tells them that he doesn't want any trouble, but they do not take no for an answer. The leader pulls out a switchblade and walks over, thinking it is going to be easy to dispose of this well-dressed blind man. But he is proven wrong. The voices in Matt's head that shout, "Daredevil," change their tone. It goes from mockery to encouragement. He is no longer a boy being picked on at recess for his cowardice. Now he is a man being cheered on for his bravery by a city in need of another protector. One by one, the gang goes down. Their leader runs for his life, but Matt catches up and knocks him out. The sound of the school bell rings in his ears, and Matt leaves the scene. He wonders why he doesn't feel better after such a victory, that he is still feeling lost, alone, and sick. He goes to the one place he knows where he should be, the gym. It has been boarded up and abandoned, but that doesn't stop him from tearing off the wood and entering inside. All of the dusty, sweaty smells he remembers are still there. Everything comes back to him. He walks in the dark, and the past relives itself in his mind. He can hear the hits to the punch bags, the strain in the voices of the weightlifters, his father's voice. He hears a heartbeat from close by. He is not the only one here. They fire a pebble at him using their slingshot, and he grabs it right before it reaches his face. He hears a child's voice asking how he, a blind man, could do that. He answers coolly with a smirk that he was just lucky. She introduces herself as Mickey. She says she is an orphan. From the rhythm of her heartbeat and the sound of her voice, he knows she is lying, but he knows why she is here. This gym is her private hideout, a place to escape from the harshness of the world, like it was for him when he was her age. They meet to work out in the gym almost every afternoon that follows, after Mickey is done with school and Matt is done with work. Not a day goes by where Mickey is not impressed by what a blind man like Matt can do. He takes her under his wing and teaches her to be stronger. Weeks fly by pleasantly, and one day as Matt ponders what to have for lunch, he hears an old voice and is pleased to reunite with Foggy after so long. They have a long talk, and after revealing information about a difficult case he is in the middle of, a class action suit against a slumlord, he asks Matt for help, and he gladly accepts. They work on the case for many nights. Not only do the two friends catch up, but Matt remembers why he wanted to become an attorney, to fight for justice and to stop bullies of all forms. The phone rings and it's Matt's boss from Boston. Sussman says he is needed back, and he either leaves tonight or he will be out of a job. He says goodbye to his old friend and tells the cab driver to make one quick stop before heading to the airport so as to say goodbye to a new friend. For several minutes he scans the area around the gym, but there is no trace of Mickey anywhere. The wind pushes something soft to his feet, and when he picks it up he realizes it's Mickey's hat. She would never take it off. Something has to be wrong. He feels the inside of the cap and finds the little note where she wrote down her address and real name, Dominique Moreau. He will find her. The flight will wait. He makes it to Mickey's home. On the roof he hears her father, Glenn, speak with the kidnapper. They want money, lots of it, and threaten to not go to the police or his daughter will get hurt. The husband and wife think there is one coming to help them, but they are wrong. Matt heads back to the gym and kicks open his locker where he pulls out a billy club. He follows Mickey's father as he goes to where the kidnapper wants him to be at East 8th Street. He answers the phone in the booth and is told to go to West 72nd Street. When he gets there, he finds another booth, and the phone rings. He answers, and more orders are given. They keep torturing the poor man, having him run around the streets in the dark of the night, his heart broken, his anxiety off the charts. In the South Bronx, he finally makes it to the drop-off. He delivers the $6,000 in the trash can as instructed. He runs off, hoping that his little girl will be safe and free to come back home in the parking lot he was told to go to afterwards. Matt pities the man because he knows how these criminal minds work, but he doesn't blame him for having hope. Still, he doesn't follow Glenn any further. He continues to wait by the drop-off till he finally hears someone come and take the money. He follows them, trying his best to be sneaky. When the man approaches the front door to his hotel room, he is shot in the head. The blood splatters onto Matt's face. The taste is so salty that he gags, breaking his silence and revealing himself to the killer. The killer sees Matt and fires hard, but misses every shot. Matt jumps out of the way and down to the bottom of the stairs. As soon as he lands on his feet, he darts away to confuse the assassin. The assassin gives up and goes to his car, picks up his phone and calls someone. Matt follows him, keeping a distance. He does not aim to attack, but listen to try and get an understanding of the situation. The assassin's name, Matt learns, is Larks, and the man he works for is the kingpin of crime in New York. Drug smuggling, gun running, human trafficking, stock manipulation. This kingpin had his dirty hands everywhere, including the worlds of politics and the arts. Poor Mickey had been taken to the distribution center for stolen lives on the waterfront. She was kidnapped by junkies that had gotten on the kingpin's bad side, so as soon as they completed their assignment, Larks took them out. Larks tells his boss about a man who saw the assassination at the hotel and escaped. He wonders if he was a cop, but the kingpin refutes it by reminding him that the majority of the police are on his payroll. He says what they are facing is a new opponent, possibly a new vigilante. He tells Larks to keep his eyes open, and if he sees him, he will know what to do. The kingpin hangs up. Larks starts the car and begins his journey to the waterfront. Part 5. All the pain, all the suffering, all the heartbreak, all the sweat, all of the tears, all of the training, it has all been leading up to this. This is his destiny. The gifts he has, God would not want him to waste. It is a new age of heroes, and he will be a part of it. He is wearing all black, only the bottom of his face left untouched. He does not intend to wear this get-up every time he will go out to stop the wicked, but it will do for tonight and will allow him to hide in the shadows. Matt has trailed Larks to the waterfront. He scans and scans, using his senses as strongly as he can, till he hears something faint, something like singing. It gets stronger the more voices are heard. They are the voices of children. They sing the same song, a chorus of youths wanting to be free. And free they will be. Matt takes out 2 of the kingpin's men, using the dark of the night to his advantage, and more follow. He makes his way to the parking lot and tampers with the wires, making escape impossible. He tackles 2 men at the docking bay into the water. One is strong, the other is fat. The strong one pulls out a knife and tries to get the blade into any part of his opponent, but Matt gets the upper hand, and the tip makes it into their chest. Matt swims to the bottom where he finds the other man, a lifeless corpse. He discovers the heavy bag that kept him from escaping what was his demise, and it is filled with explosive grenades. Matt takes them and swims back up. He yanks the pin of one on his way up, and as soon as he touches the surfaces, he runs like the wind. The explosion rocks the place. Larks and the other men search to find the one responsible. Matt keeps his silence and doesn't lose his concentration. One is taken down, another follows. Soon an army is at him, and he beats every single one of them. There is one left standing in his way. The silence is uncomfortable. Matt scans to see if there are more. There has to be. A truck crashes through a garage door, and everyone inside fires at Matt. He dodges each of their bullets and hides behind some crates. He is safe for now, but he has lost track of Mickey. A door opens. Larks takes a crying Mickey with him to his car. Matt takes off running in their direction, and the men in the truck continue their chase, which leaves the waterfront and onto the streets. The truck turns around. Matt wonders why and is given an answer when a squad car passes, pursuing the truck of the kingpin's men. "Freeze," says an officer. Before Matt are dozens of squad cars blasting their bright, flickering red and blue lights onto him, with many men and women in uniform with their guns out. It is sensory overload, and all Matt wants is to locate where Larks and Mickey are. A dozen officers take him down, and a lucky one cuffs him. He is shoved into the back seat of one squad car. Matt pauses his resistance to try and concentrate, finding Mickey's voice. Finally, he finds it. He hears her screaming his name. Now he knows where to find her. As the officer gives his report, Matt brings his arms from his back to under and over his legs and to the front of his chest. He kicks the divider and sends the car crashing. As Matt regains consciousness, he locates Mickey and Larks. Larks calls for a taxi. He kills the driver once they arrive and steals his car with Mickey in the passenger seat. Matt is in no condition to pursue them on foot, so he breaks off the handcuffs, pulls out the 2 officers and places them on the road, starts the car, and goes after the stolen taxi. He is not much of a driver, but he does his best. He gets close enough to crash into the taxi, forcing Larks to exit with Mickey and head for the inside of the nearest building. Matt finds the strength to get out, takes out his club, and runs to the door, kicks it open, and finds the 2 in the dark. He says to him, "Let her go. I don't want to kill you. Let her go." "Back off, man. I'm the one with the gun," responds Larks. Matt takes a step forward. "I said back off," barks Larks. Matt repeats himself, "I don't want to kill you. Let her go." "You're out of your mind," Larks replies. Larks fires a shot at Matt, only hitting the side of his right arm. Matt doesn't flinch, doesn't express any pain. He is too determined to let it ruin his mission. He repeats himself once more. "I don't want to kill you. Let her go." Larks fires again. Matt bats it off with his club, and the bullet instead lands by Lark's feet. "Damn, who the devil are you?" he asks. Matt gives his answer. "Call me Daredevil." Again, Matt tells the man that he doesn't want to kill him. He just wants him to let the girl go. But Larks doesn't play ball and fires away. Right before the bullet makes its way to his skull, Matt bats it with his club, and it returns to Larks, impacting him between the eyes. Mickey races to Matt and hugs him tight. He tells her everything will be all right. He takes her back home before the police arrive. Part 6. The morning comes, but the sun does not show. It rains hard, soaking everything the cloud system is above. Matt sits on a rooftop with a smile. He laughs for the first time since he doesn't know how long, because just as he had considered leaving his job in Boston and staying in New York, he discovered a message on his answering machine from his boss telling him that he has been fired. In the afternoon, Matt reunites with Foggy for lunch. The storm has long since passed, and the sky is sunny without a cloud to block its light. The streets of Hell's Kitchen are alive with thankfulness and hope, as many parents saw the return of their children last night thanks to an angel who emerged in the dark. Every station on the radio tells the same story, praising the good deed of this Daredevil. Foggy comments he hasn't seen Matt this happy in so long, and jokingly asks if he is truly his friend or one of those green shape-shifting aliens the Fantastic Four often deal with. But after a laugh, he assures Foggy he is the genuine article. The two want to open their own law firm. Foggy's father's money will help them out a great deal. They leave it to a coin flip to determine what their name will be. Murdoch and Nelson, or Nelson and Murdoch. Foggy picks tails. Matt picks heads. Foggy accidentally flicks the coin across the diner instead of to the roof, and it lands in the hand of an old man with shaggy gray hair, a discolored cap, and a walking stick. The old man takes one last sip of coffee and walks to leave the place. He returns the coin and says it came up on tails. Matt recognizes his smell and his voice. It's Stick. Before Stick leaves the diner, he gives Matt the coin and tells him to not get cocky. He holds onto the coin tight. In the weeks that follow, more stories emerge about the heroic deeds of Daredevil, and months later, myth turns to legend, and legend reveals himself to be real. Matt decides to change his clothing for crime fighting, switching from all black to something bright. He sews himself up in a suit of yellow, black, and red, and then, after some time, he sews up another costume, all in red. He has made his place in this new age of heroes. He knows it in his heart that his father is proud.